Manchester United take on Leeds for the second time in a week at Elland Road on Sunday afternoon. Leeds looked set to record a historic win at Old Trafford when taking a 2-0 lead on Wednesday night, but Marcus Rashford got his side back into the game on the hour mark and substitute Jadon Sancho produced an equaliser shortly after. The two sides will now meet at Elland Road, just 4 days after the midweek fixture when the points were shared. Regarding the early team news, Anthony Martial and Scott McTominay are likely to be absent again, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka could be available after missing the match against Leeds last week due to a bout of sickness. It worked in United's favour that the reverse fixture with Crystal Palace came around so quickly, and that could be the case at Leeds on Sunday. Ten Hag has little choice but to pick Fred again, but he has had a good season, scored home and away against Leeds last season and ought to have learnt a lesson from Wednesday night's draw. Leicester at home may be the occasion to rest Raphael Varane, but United have to treat this game with the focus it demands. The only change has to come in attack, where it would be advisable to start Sancho and drop Wout Weghorst. Garnacho would be a fortuitous starter and he needs to reduce the Instagramming, but he could also benefit from a second successive start against opponents he struggled against. Ten Hag's hands are tied a little when it comes to changes for the trip to Elland Road this weekend. Dalot looked very rusty on his return to the side on Wednesday, but Wan-Bissaka has been ill. Varane, Martinez and Shaw should all start. The midfield didn't function brilliantly either, but again options are limited. It's unlikely we're going to see Lindelof playing the holding role from the start, so Sabitzer, Fred and Fernandes have to go again, but they need to look a tighter unit than they did in midweek. One area I would change is in attack. Weghorst has started every game since he got in the team, but he needs a break now. Rashford has scored within minutes of being moved central in each of United's last 2 games and he looks excellent as a striker. That would allow Sancho to come in on the left and Garnacho can play on the right this time. United's midfield selection will likely underpin the entire approach at Leeds, and could in turn result in changes in defence as well. Fred should keep his place and doesn't, with Martinez moving into a deep midfield role, with Shaw the best option to replace him at centre-back as Malaysia also comes in. Sancho should start, and it would be good to see what he can do on the right, with Rashford at his best when he plays on the left. There is an argument to drop Weghorst too after his poor showing in midweek, but it makes more sense to rest him against Barcelona and use a false 9 for that game instead. The back line picks itself after Dalot made his return to the side, with Wan-Bissaka forced to be absent due to sickness. Fred should lose his starting place after his performance in midweek, but Mainoo and Iqbal are the only other midfield options. He will retain his place by default alongside Sabitzer, who improved throughout on Wednesday, and Fernandes. Weghorst was anonymous against Leeds and it seems best to start Rashford down the middle, with Sancho on the right and Garnacho on the left. That is a dynamic front line and it would be hindered by starting Weghorst.